We are live. Greg Flanagan here with Flanagan, Fridays with Flanagan. Every Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, we broadcast live across our social media network to bring you just a short training and answer any questions that we might not have, that you might have. Now, today with me, I have my guest, Jonathan Crompton. And John is a local real estate agent here in the Charleston area. I've known John for probably going on 5 or 6 years, right, John? Frozen. He's frozen. Oh, goodness. Anyway, let's see if we can get him back in the chat. He's coming back. Anyway, John's been around for, I don't know what happened to John. He just got
Me
frozen.
neither. I'm in the office. I blame them.
So welcome, John. I was just welcoming you. John is about 13 and a half years in the business, right, John?
Correct.
Full-time agent right now this year, probably about $11 million. You're looking to push to 14 by the end of the year. You got a lot of things going on, a lot of business happening. And some of your past, I met John 5 or 6 years ago. We sat next to each other at a team meeting. I was new to the brokerage, and John was the guy sitting next to me, young kid, old dog, right? He looked over to me and goes, "Yeah, how much do you do?" I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Anyway, we took a liking to each other, and I like to say he's my yang to my yin, right? He's the yang to my yin. So
cool.
Few things you don't know about John. John has been a productivity coach in the past. He's run that program for the local brokerage. He's also done some sales managing for another small team in the area. And I brought him on today because I think he's one of the best objection handling people out there today.
Thank you.
Well, you are, man. We script practice together when I'm actively selling. And
Yep.
John and I can go back and forth, and you can't trip this man up. Maybe once in a while you throw a curveball at him, but you can't trip him up. Thanks for being here, John. Anything you want to say, add to it?
Hey. No, thank you for having me. This is a good year despite all things going on. I think to be a productive agent, you've got to put in work, right? You got to learn certain things. You got to learn how to speak to people. And I think that's what you're here to help these people out for, right? Get their chops sharpened up a little bit so they know how to speak to people, handle when people say no, and what does that mean, and kind of move forward. So I congratulate you on all that you're doing and have done.
Well, thank you,
and you've
John.
done a ton in my business. You've been there for, like you said, we script practice a lot of things, and usually it's things I have problems on, so I can get through them.
Without the practice, you don't get better. Without the practice, we don't get better. If we don't practice, we lose the skill, right? I always say that the work is in the practice, and when you go to list something, when you go to the appointment, that's all the play. Like a basketball player, like a football player, you got to practice first. That's where you get paid to work. The game is just showing off what you practice. Right?
The game is the fun part. Yeah.
The game's the fun part. The game is the part where you sit there and go, that's what Flanagan said. That's what Crompton said. He threw that one at me already. I know what the answer is. And that's what today is about. It's about, we've had a tough year with the virus, the social unrest, the elections, and now we're coming into that time of year where, wow, we got to handle the holiday objections. I don't want to list my house because. And I think as a realtor, this is usually one of my best and most productive times of the year. Because number one, I continue to work, October, November, and December. I think it's very, very important. I know the objection handlers. I know how to respond to people. And this is what we're going to do today. We're going to share those objections. And if you want a copy of this or a copy of my 25 surefire objection handlers, drop your email in the comments section below, and we'll be surely get that out to you ASAP. So, John, let's run through these slides real quick. I don't want to use the slides too much.
Sure.
I love seeing your face. Whatever you want. I value your opinion. I think you're one of the best. So
I appreciate that. We'll see.
this is a short presentation. We're going to go through 10 reasons why you need objection handlers and training in this holiday objections. And then we're going to go into the 10 most common objections. So why you should be learning to take listings this holiday season? Because it helps you take more listings in the supposedly slow season. John, have you found that the slow season is because the other people stop working, they consider it the slow season?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if you look at your top producing agents across the country, even in your local market center or even board, those people are still selling homes at a pretty good clip. Seasonality to me is the mindset. Like, it's for the people who take off work and say, I'm just going to take off because there's nothing happening. Usually December is one of my busier closing months. Like, I'm typically closing 3 to 5 homes in that month. And that's a pretty good time in December. The other thing is you got to think about is what you do now shows up in the first quarter. So you're really working for the next year. So
true, man. I can tell you that I know over the years, a lot of my years, that first quarter is the highest producing, gross producing that I have, which is fabulous. Get your more listings and close sales.
Yep.
How does that? Why is that, John? Why are we getting more listings during this time? The people that are working.
Well, because one, your competition's less in terms of people actually out there looking for the sellers. So that's a huge reason, right? If you know that the 80-20 rule resides throughout the year, especially during the holiday season, 80% of the agent population is in that mindset of taking off. So you have an 80% better chance of actually getting more listings or acquiring more clients at that time. And we know that the people who are selling their home and the people who are buying homes, and I'm sure we'll talk about this as your slides go on, that there's serious buyers out in the market right now and even during Thanksgiving and even during Christmas. Life doesn't stop for everybody because of the holiday.
Correct. Not everybody observes holidays either.
Correct.
So it makes it's true, right? I mean, there's a lot of things there's a lot of things that we've indoctrinated into ourselves and said, you know what? Because I don't do it, nobody else does it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we have to open our minds to, is that just because we think it doesn't mean everybody thinks it. We have to be a little bit more flexible in what we do. So it makes it easier. You know, why should people list their homes? Because it makes it easier to overcome often heard holiday objections. And that's the crux of this whole thing. We're going to get into that a little bit later. The other reason, I think here's one that's an underlying reason, whether it's a holiday season or not, and that's having the confidence to make the call. Do you find your confidence dwindles during this time, John?
I don't think I ever have a confidence issue dwindle throughout the year, but I think in the beginning, maybe, because I would listen to the other agents say, like, nothing does happen, and yet there's a drive in me that knows that things do happen and I need to make them happen. And I do believe, again, knowing that 80% of the agents are pretty much checked out from Halloween on, gives you, okay, I can bumble enough of my calls and still get lucky and find a squirrel, find a nut. So
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think, no, but again, it goes with knowing what to say. Like, I've practiced my scripts for years now. I mean, they're so internalized that it's part of my just natural conversation. No matter what, I can't turn it off. So I think practicing that gives you a lot more confidence. But making the calls anyway gives you confidence, because you got to get beat up.
Got to get into action. Here's a big one, and I think a lot of agents get into this mindset of, dang, I'm not going to have any income over the winter. So one of the reasons to learn how to do holiday season is to avoid having no income coming in over the winter months. That speaks for itself. There's no question. If you don't understand how to sell holiday, you're going to be broke for 6 months.
Yeah.
We go back to the slow season. We hit that one a little bit. How do we? And one of the another good reason is how to identify those people that really truly need to sell now during the season. What are some of those things that they need to sell now, John? What pushes them into that?
Job transfer, life-changing. A lot of companies do transfer people near the end of the year. A lot of like people who have maybe 1099 money that they want to move around. There's a lot of that kind of money that gets closed in December. So I think if you listen for change and then you know how to handle the change from, hey, I want to wait till spring because, I think handling those objections come in. But identifying people is just really like what's changed in their life and what's an immediate change that you can jump into.
True, right down the whole thing. Got to listen to them, like John said. You got to listen. That conversation and asking the real estate questions during that conversation.
Correct.
We're going to help you. You got to learn how to take the appointment with little or no effort. It's once you identify that they're good, that they do want to sell, they got the motivation to sell, you got to go in for the appointment. If you don't ask, you never receive, right?
You got to ask about 5 times too, in 5 different ways.
Thank you. Yep, 5 or 6 different times, and test that market, test it.
Yeah, and if they just say no, you ignore that, and you keep asking questions and unravel some more of their needs, and then you ask again, because we're all trained to say no to the first things anyway. And it's, do you need more water from a waiter? No. Do you need any help at a shoe store? No. Then why the hell are you there? You need help. You're just conditioned to say no.
True. I agree with you 100%. That's an instant reflex.
Yeah, it is.
Phone rings, you pick it up, and you go, hi, this is, no thanks.
Yep.
No thanks. Well, wait a second, before you go, so number 10, escape from worrying about how you're going to pay the bills this week. This is, again, goes back to no money. To me, it comes from, we got 2 mindsets, right? You have the mindset of lack and the mindset of abundance.
Yep.
Going into abundance, thinking abundantly, thinking that there are people out there. We had a long conversation yesterday about, how many listings we're taking. We are down. Inventory this morning was down into the 3,000s. We've never seen that before. Unheard of. But somebody took a listing yesterday. Somebody took 84 listings yesterday. Who were they? How did they do it? Where did they come from? They didn't come from the lack side. They came from the abundance side. They said, there's somebody out there that needs me, and I'm going to go find that person. You agree with that?
Agree 100%.
How does that affect our holiday selling? I mean, I think when we bring that to the table, again, the 80% are going away for the season.
Totally. And it's not just this season. They're going to get back in come March.
Yeah.
So you really have like 5 months of build your business, build your inventory, build your pipeline. I mean, right now you're really truly setting up your next year. Will you get some sales between now and December? Absolutely. Yet I think the main point is also, if you're not going to get paid this winter, you definitely want to get paid in the first quarter. So at least line up the first quarter to get paid. Because if you don't get paid this winter and you don't get paid in the first quarter, you might not be selling real estate come springtime. And it's just because it takes money to keep running your business. So
100%. Number 11, discover what other top producing listing agents already know. That's one of the other reasons why you should learn how to do it. Get involved with people that are smarter with you, with people have more knowledge. They've been there. They're already done that. They've created the roadmap to being able to prospect, get appointments, and list homes. And that's where everybody should be looking at this season. That's what we're going to focus on. Right now, we're going to go into the 10 reasons to list your homes during the holidays. This is objection handlers to the people that, they've got the objections. I don't want to list right now because of the holidays. I don't want people walking through the house. There's all different kinds. The number one reason that we're going to go, I think we got 10 of these, right? So people who look for a home during the holidays are the most serious buyers. How are they the most serious buyers, John?
Well, Mr. Seller, what we can do is we can actually block out your holidays. So if you have guests coming in town and family coming in town, we can take our showing time and block that out automatically for you. And what that does, it just lets people know that the home is not available during those times. Though there are people that are in the market, and the people who are looking at your home or looking to look at your home during the Thanksgiving and holiday seasons around Christmas and Hanukkah and whatever you practice, is those people have an immediate need for a home. And Mr. Seller, if you were with your family around this time of the year, would you just be out shopping just for fun, looking for houses? Probably not, right?
No, I'm not. No.
Right. And neither are these people. They have an immediate need. And if you also knew that your family was going to be homeless in the next 30 to 35 to 45 days, and there's a few homes available, what do you think you would do to get that home for your family?
I would do anything.
Would you try to negotiate a huge discount and all these different terms, or would you just try to get the home so you know you have a place to move to?
I would definitely make sure I had a place to move to, and I would probably drop my guard down.
Great. And that's what these people are going to do too. And so you can definitely wait till spring. The market will most likely be there, but still will be the competition. So if we know we can get a better term and a better deal right now, wouldn't that benefit you and your family when you do move?
Yes.
Great. So let's list now.
Right. And that's, John, and this is why I brought you on, because you say it so eloquently. It's just it rolls off your tongue. Like, just there it is. There it is. And that's a perfect response. What about mindset going in there, John? What about the confidence level?
So I think
what's your mindset going in? Tell me.
My mindset is it's my listing unless I desire not to take it.
Okay.
And the reason I wouldn't take it is just unrealistic expectations from somebody, or they're a-holes, and I'm just like able to choose who I work with now. Though I always go into a listing and everything, it's already mine. I'm just going to get paper signed. That's how I look at it. Right. And the mindset to me is confidence is 80% of the deal. You show up to a home and you don't even know what to say and you do it confidently, people will probably sign papers with you. And I've learned that in 2014 when I just walked into houses with papers that expected them to sign and they just signed papers. I'm like, well, that's what we're here to do. So I've gotten better over that time, don't get me wrong, but confidence definitely goes a long way.
I agree with you. I think the serious buyers, and I put an analogy to this back years and years ago. I worked for Toyota selling cars, and during a rainstorm, I would be the first one out the door if a car pulled up. And the reason being, if anybody's out shopping for a car during a rainstorm,
they're probably serious.
They need a car.
You're right.
Same thing with the holidays. If they're out shopping during the holidays, they need a house. And the same thing, actually, on the other side, if they're listing a house, they need to sell a house. Good job. Like you said, fewer choices of homes during the holidays and less competition means more money for you. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if we're down to 3,000 homes, 1,900 of them are resale. We expect that to drop further during the holidays. There are less homes for people to look at, and less competition that your home goes up into. Maybe we can ask a higher price for it. Somebody will pay it because there are less homes on the market.
Yep. It goes back into that last conversation. You can wait till spring where there's 4 or 5 other sellers in your neighborhood who you're competing with. And if I had 4 or 5 homes to choose from, I'm probably going to ask for less money. Though if I have one home to choose from, I'm probably going to pay that asking price because I do not want to lose it to the other parties, and I definitely need to be into a home because why else am I looking at this moment?
Perfect. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, since the supply of listings will dramatically increase in January, there'll be less demand for your particular home. Less demand means less money for you. Exactly what we just said.
Yep.
Are we catching it? Are we getting a sense that it's all the same? Objection?
I mean, it truly is. I mean, you could wrap all these objections into one major objection and handle it systematically through it. And yeah, I think inventory, pricing, timelines, all that plays together with most of these objections. And it's just how you handle them and how you word them is really what matters because you have to make them see the light. And again, the reason you have 10 of these because they're going to say the same thing over and over again. You just got to keep handling it until they have no more objections. Objections are just trying to find a way if you can handle it, and it's just someone to work with.
Correct. So what else? What else? Other than that, what else?
Exactly. Just draw it out of them.
Keep asking that question. So you've asked the question. They've answered you with the objection. What's the next words out of your mouth? What else? And
is there anything else that would stop you from listing your home today?
Right. They would give you something else. What else? And then the last question is always, and is there anything else that would stop you from listing your home today? Perfect.
Right.
Now, one of the other things is houses show better when decorated for the holidays. This is especially true. Usually, if you're walking into a Christmas setting, there's pine needles.
They feel homey.
Right? What was that, John?
They feel homey. They feel more homier like during the holiday season. I mean, you go to everybody else's house, it's super decorated, it's festive. People, hearts are already big and up, and it just makes them see, oh, this could be my home. This is our Christmas. Imagine our Christmas tree in that corner instead of this one. It helps the visual, change the visual expectations of a home where during springtime the homes look great. They look fine, but it doesn't have that emotional draw to it. And I think that helps a whole lot.
Have you ever done the beer can trick?
No.
Pop the beer can, you put it on a cookie sheet, turn the oven up to 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. And what happens is that yeast starts to cook, and it smells like baking bread. And
wow.
It fills the house with this scent. So that when you walk in there in the middle of any day, actually, but closer to Thanksgiving, you walk in there and you're smelling that bread. Now, just one thing, if you're going to use this at an open house, make sure you shut the oven off and take the can out after about 10 minutes, because burnt yeast really does stink up a house, and the owners really don't care for it. Okay, just be careful out there. Make sure you get permission to use their baking sheets. Bring your own, as a matter of fact, because it will bubble over. Okay, number 5, buyers are more emotional during the holidays so that they are more likely to pay your price. Wow. How powerful is that? What do we sell on? What do we sell? We deal with emotions.
Right? Logic makes people think about it, but the emotional aspect makes them act on it, right? And it goes back.
You froze, Johnny. So buyers, what John was just saying, buyers are emotional during the holidays so that they're more likely to pay your price. You back with me?
I hope. Yeah, I'm in the office. I don't know what's
So we're
going
just
on.
talking about the emotions. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, so again, it goes back to when the homes look pretty and you can play on the emotion of this is what my home can look like for Christmas. That helps. It also is the fact that there's an emotional tie that there's not enough inventory. I need to be in a home. My family could be home.
Family could be home in this house by Christmas. I know that when we sell in November and December, it all depends on when you're going to get in the house. A lot of people want to be in before Christmas. I want to be in there in a week before Christmas, which says that the seller wants to be out of there before Christmas or New Year's so they can be in their new home for the same reason that these people are buying the home. They're all in that emotional state of wanting to be settled and grounded during some of the most important days of the year for them.
Correct.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So number 7 is some people must buy before the end of the year for tax reasons. Are you up on that one, John?
Yeah, you got people who have 1099 tax exchanges. There's a time limit with the.
And these people usually get these are the last minute buyers and sellers. They will call you during December. And honestly, about December 10th, they start going, oh, man, we got to get rid of 3 properties. Make sure you're on board and understand 1031 exchanges. This is another great learning session so that you can say, yes, we have this, and this property. You identify the 3 properties. You get them sold. You get them purchased. It's probably going to be, if they're coming to you in December, you're probably going to have sales in December, and you're going to have sales in January because they have to replace those properties within a specified time frame. So always look. It's a great time to work out, reach out and grab your investors. You with me?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
I agree with everything you said. I can hear you. I don't know what's going on.
I'm glad you can. I can see you now.
It's our office Wi-Fi, not mine.
January is traditionally the month for employees to begin new jobs. Since transferees cannot wait until the spring to buy, you must be on the market now to capture that market. It's another reason to list your property, right? You've got people in the market. They're ready, willing, and able. They're
They most likely have a reload package helping them out, right? So their moving's covered. They're probably, that's why they're probably less worried about negotiating, because their move is covered from their company, and they have to start January 2nd, January 1,
Exactly.
which is again why they have to make these decisions during these times. I'm working with 2 of those type of people right now.
I actually have finished one. I got
Yeah.
one up here. So all these are great ideas and great reasons why you should sell during this time. Buyers are out there. They are ready, willing, and able. They're strong buyers. We're not talking about people kicking tires. That's spring. That's a spring buyer. That's when the spring turns, the leaves turn around, and all the buyers go out and go, let's buy a new car. Let's buy a new house. Let's get new clothes. Let's buy the shorts for the summer. This is where I need to buy a house. I need to sell a house today.
Correct.
If you're a buyer's agent, this increases your hourly wage and reduces your time in the car seat going from house to house to house. You can actually cut this down into what John and I like to do, 3 to 5 showings, and we're done. That's another whole thing. How to get somebody in your car for 3 to 5 showings, and at the end of the day, you've got a written contract. So yeah, look for those transferees. They will be out there. Another reason, you could still be on the market, but you have the option to restrict showings. And John, you touched on this earlier in the day. You could still be on the market, but you have the option to restrict showings during the 6 or 7 days during the holidays.
Right.
Along with that, you can also restrict showings. You can block out the weeks. You know, if you're a listing agent, John is, I am. If you're a listing agent, we talk about putting the house on the market, driving the pent-up buyers into a Friday with their agents, and then a weekend with open houses, take in all your offers during the week, and then on Monday you make the decision. Don't take the first offer on Friday. Say, hey, we're going to do this over the week. And that's the same thing with holidays. You've got time. You've got time. The buyers are there right now. You've got time. Don't rush it. You agree with that, John?
100%.
Right? We've got the time. Let me ask you this. Have you ever shown a house on Christmas Eve? I have.
No. Oh.
I have. New Year's Eve?
Personally have.
Yeah. You got kids. I'm dual income, no kids right now, empty nesters. So I usually take those calls. People send them to me. And I take their clients out, and we do look at houses, because the sellers still want to sell those houses, right? The sellers.
I took a
John is frozen. He probably took somebody out. I know John. He's always out. He's out more than I am most of the time.
Am I back?
You're back.
I said I took a listing the day after Christmas from the hospital room when my first daughter was born.
There you go.
You just pull up the computer, talk to the guy, and had him sign.
If that doesn't prove that you can do listings during the holidays, I don't think anything would. Again, you can sell now for more money, and we will provide for a delayed closing or extended occupancy until next year. You with me? Yeah, it looks like you are.
I hope.
Okay, you are. You can sell now for more money, and we will provide for a delayed closing or extended occupancy until next year. People are worried that they're going to have to move.
Yeah, Mr. Seller,
Go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Well, what I was going to say is you just tell the seller, our goal is to get the contract, right? And just because we get a contract doesn't mean we need to agree to all the stipulations of the contract. And in reality, you actually have something that someone else wants. So we can actually make them jump through the hoops that you need to, because you're there's no competition for you to worry about. And B, these people need to be in here. They might not be able to get in here for Christmas, but we can get them in here January 2nd. We can get them in here December 30th, right? So there's ways to just move dates around. Then that also comes into your negotiation skills. You just need to be able to negotiate at a high level. But to me, this is an easy no-brainer. Overcome that objection. We don't have to accept the offer. You don't like the offer, we don't have to accept it. We can always counter the terms.
Correct. And that's on both sides of the deal, whether you're listing or buying. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
The goal is to get them to commit it.
If you'd like this slide deck or the objections, my 25 surefire objections, drop your email in the comments on the social media, and we'll be sure to get it out to you. This is recorded. It will be on the Facebook site, the YouTube site, wherever else we're broadcasting right now. John, I want to thank you for your time today. Absolutely fabulous. It's always enjoyable. Well, we're going to get you a better computer.
It's not me. It's the office. I'm at the office. It's their Wi-Fi. My computer's great.
Is that the bed part of our blame? No. Anyway, I appreciate you coming down.
Absolutely, brother.
I'm Greg Flanagan. This is Fridays with Flanagan. We do this every week at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have guests come in, a couple of slide decks. We do take your comments. If anybody's got anything, just drop them into the comments over here, and we will be happy to get back to you on them. There's also a free resource. We're developing a free resource page, and you see it on the screen right now, poweronwardmastermind.com at resource-center. You can go there, sign up. There's a waiting list. We're developing this right now. And when it's ready, you're going to be able to jump in and grab a lot of my resources that over the years we've developed as a solo agent and a team. And these are resources that I know a lot of people ask me for on a regular basis. And they're going to be free to you. Okay, which is absolutely, I think it's us giving back to the community. I know as a new agent, I had a problem trying to figure this whole thing out as a solo agent. And a couple of people helped me. And within the last 5 or 6 years, I've actually had admin come in, work the systems, built the systems, and we're going to share some of those with you. So there it is in the comments. Just drop it there. John, thank you again. I appreciate it. You make the world go round for me. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Thanksgiving's coming soon. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, man.